Hey everyone! Hey everyone! This is Jennifer Huber from solotravelgirl.com. This is Chew with Jen. This is where I talk about travel, talk about food, and just talk about whatever else is on my mind. I'm sorry my computer seems a little slow and I'm in slow motion. I guess it's like an update. I can't stop it. It's just been a busy, I don't know, week. Can't believe it's already Thursday night, which is very, very exciting. I am broadcasting from my office. As you can see, it's an office. I have books. I have a cool globe lamp in the back. I don't know if you've ever noticed that before. And I do need some things to get unpacked still, after almost 2 years here. So anyway, I am here to talk to you about my recent trip to Guatemala with Clean the World on a soap distribution trip. But before I do that, I want to show you one of the gadgets that I took with me. I think it's pretty cool. When people saw it, they thought it was pretty cool, especially the TSA security guy. And just remember, I have cats, so just 2, because I'm not the crazy cat lady yet. So you might see or hear some cat action going on. But I got this thing called the Charger Genie. Let me show it to you. And I don't know if you can see, but there are 3 outlets on the bottom here. This is my camera battery charger. And we know this belongs to an Apple iProduct. But also on the back, there are 3 more power outlets. And then on the side, there are these 2 USB ports. So I took this along with me. I've actually had this for quite some time. Oh, here's the other part. There's also storage in here. So you can put all your electronics inside. There's a nice little pocket up front here. And this lets you know it's Charger Genie. But also, this detaches on the inside. And it's just pretty cool. So anyway, the TSA guy enjoyed it because when I was going through security in Orlando airport, I had this tucked inside my backpack, and it fit in really nicely. And I'm waiting on the other side of security, wondering where my bag is. And so it's waiting, and I see it sitting on next to one of the TSA guards who does the screening. And meanwhile, there's another TSA agent he was finishing up with someone else, and then he was just kind of standing there after he was done, and I'm just kind of standing there, and I didn't want to say, excuse me, sir, I would like to move to my gate, because I don't know, TSA would frown upon that. So anyway, so finally TSA agent realized that they had a bag to inspect, and they inspected it, and they pulled it out, and they asked me if I had any explosives in there. No. If they asked if I had any weapons, no. Anything sharp, no. So anyway, so I did say I did have a power strip and a bag, and they said, oh, okay. So when he took it out and he saw it, I mean, not only because it's cool pink leopard print, but he was actually really impressed as to what it does. He's like, oh, wow, that's pretty cool. It's attached. And the reason why I took this is because I just need one outlet to charge all my things. And sometimes when I go to hotels, I never know what the plug situation is going to be. I mean, even modern hotels, you get there and, I don't know, sometimes I end up like pushing the bed or crawling under a bed or, getting my phone charged in the bathroom or something just because there aren't enough outlets accessible in the room. And on this trip to Guatemala with Clean the World, I was sharing a room with someone, and I really didn't know about the accommodation, so it actually just worked out perfectly. I mean, well, yeah, because I had to charge my iPad, my iPhone, my battery, and then the battery for my camera, and then my GoPro. I had to keep those devices charged. And I had access to one outlet because I didn't see any others in my area, so to say, and it worked out great. And the room was fantastic. It was my first trip to Guatemala, and oh my gosh, it was like a 4 or 5 star resort. let me get the name right, the Porta Hotel in Antigua. But before I get that, I have one more thing I want to share with you. It's another travel product. These, if you love shoes, I'm not really a shoe person, but I guess I am after these. These are by Naturalizer. They're called BZees. And I took these to Guatemala with me, and I actually took them to Boston with me in May. And oh my gosh, when I put these on, it was just like pillows for my feet. They just felt so incredibly soft, and they're super light too. Like, I am no way fashion forward or a fashionista, and I buy things because they're practical and they're going to last long. And I have my favorite pair of black shoes that I've had, I don't know, I don't want to say since God was a boy because they're more newer than that. But anyway, these are pretty awesome, but they're called Naturalizer BZees. I did a blog post about them. I posted it on my Facebook page, and someone said they had just bought these shoes before they saw my review, and they absolutely agreed with everything I had to say. So if you need a good travel shoe, Naturalizer's BZees are pretty nifty. Also, they come in like different sandals, open-toed and stuff, but I just wanted something closed-toed because I want to keep the feet protected because you don't know where you're going sometimes. So those are pretty awesome. So I am wearing one of my souvenirs from Guatemala. Now, this wasn't a shopping trip, but I'll get to that. So anyway, Clean the World, if you read my blog post, you know Clean the World is an organization in Orlando. They were founded in 2009, and what they do is pretty cool because they take used hotel soap and used shampoos and other amenities, and they recycle it, repurpose it, and then they give it to people in need, because daily over, I think it's about 5,500 children die from hygiene type related illnesses that could be prevented. And going into Guatemala and being part of this mission was just incredible. But anyway, back to Clean the World. I can keep the suspense going for you. Clean the World was started in the garage of two fellows and who just thought, you know, what can they do with this used hotel soap? Because how many times have you gone to the hotel and you use the soap and you keep it there? If it's really nice soap, I do take it home, but you use it there. Well, even a lot of hotels, they have to take all the amenities out, even if it doesn't look like someone opened up the shampoo, or if they open up the box of soap, if it doesn't look like it, they still have to take those out because they're not sure if someone did something bad to it and the next person, I don't know. Anyway, they have to take that out. So stuff like that also goes to this Clean the World facility. Now, hotels do have to pay a very, very small fee in order to be part of Clean the World. But, I mean, really, it's also reducing the hotel's waste. So the hotel is sending less stuff to the trash dump, so that's going to bring their costs down if they pay by the pound or by the delivery type or something. But anyway, yes, it was started in the garage of two fellows without, you know, what you can do with this soap. They bought, like, I guess, crock pots and stuff, and they're melting soap and making all sorts of things and testing it out, but it just grew from there. I was introduced to Clean the World through Visit Florida, the state's tourism marketing organization. They exhibited at the Florida Governor's Conference several years ago, and also Visit Florida had a corporate responsibility day where they invited Visit Florida partners to go volunteer at Clean the World. And I wasn't able to do that, but I made arrangements on my own to volunteer another time. And I'm starting to get teary-eyed already. But anyway, so I got to volunteer one day, and I actually got this scrape soap. I got to take a vegetable peeler and scrape used hotel soap to get the exterior out, like the sand and what other bits are on it. Now, if you want to volunteer when you're visiting Orlando, that's pretty awesome. However, you won't be able to scrape soap because they now have a machine that's going to take care of all that. I guess, I don't know, something with UV rays and water, and the soap is in there and it gets vibrated or something or zapped off, and then the sediment, whatever, sits to the bottom and the soap floats to the top, or maybe vice versa. Anyway, no more scraping soap, but there's other opportunities to volunteer there. You can sort through. I can't remember if I posted a link to my Flickr stream, but you can sort the soap at the facility. You can also probably put hygiene kits together And if you're involved with an organization, you want to have a corporate day of responsibility wherever you're meeting, and you can't find something like a project to work on in the community you're meeting with, you can contact Clean the World, and then they'll send you all the pieces to make hygiene kits. And a hygiene kit is basically like a razor, it's the shampoo, it's soap, and other amenities, and you package them into these plastic bags, and then they're distributed to people who need those. Not only to people in developing countries, but they're also distributed to people in disaster areas. Like when Hurricane Sandy hit, last year or 2 years ago, they were able to get kits out up to the Northeast. So Clean the World's a really excellent organization, and I just feel it's an organization that I should associate with because it is tied to the hotel and the tourism industry. So that's kind of my affiliation. Let me get a beverage here. I turned off my air so I wouldn't have so much background noise. So the mission trip to Guatemala was 3 nights, 4 days. It was really 2 days on the ground, meeting with people and being part of this soap distribution. And what it was, Clean the World had sent the soap in advance to their in-country host called Children International. And what Children International does is they coordinate not necessarily at-risk youth, but children who just need a little help because their living situation is so much poverty. We're told like something that the average minimum salary or something like that is like $320 a month. But when I was reading the Children International website, looking at the monthly salaries of some of the children who are in need, I mean, we're talking like $125 a month, $160 a month. But also what's interesting is that gas was like, I don't know, $4.50, $4.60 a gallon. So you figure in how much people are making or not making compared to the cost of living. Obviously other products, food and things like that is going to cost much less than the gas, but still things are tight. So what Children International does, finds these sponsors. It's $25 a month, $300 for the year, and the whole family benefits because like the whole family would get sheets and bedding, and then the children are enrolled in programs that focus on 4 cores, which I'm probably not going to remember because I have my iPhone somewhere. That's where I took my notes. But it focuses on education, keeping the kids in school or teaching them a trade, focuses on life skills, focuses on athletics, it teaches them to be financially responsible, and focuses on health too. These Children International offices, as we saw in 2 of them in which we visited, they have health centers in there. So there's doctors in there and there's dentists in there. But what I began to say at the beginning of this chew was how we met with a doctor, and she was saying from the soap being introduced into the country or into her area, she was in a rural area, she's already seeing a difference in the number of cases and the types of cases coming into the clinic. And when I asked through an interpreter, because even after all these years and after all this time living in Florida, yo hablo un poco español. I hope I just said I can only speak a little bit of Spanish. But I asked what is the primary reason people come into the doctor's office, and she said it is because of colds. And colds, that's one of the things that could lead to pneumonia, and that's one of the killers of children, and that's totally preventable just through the washing hands. So this month, Children International, they have a hand washing campaign. And so what we did was, it was kind of, I don't know what we were prepared for it, but we had to sing a song. And the last time I sang in public was very long time ago. Very much a long time ago. It was 10 years ago in Japan. We had to sing, I think it was called it was called Sukiyaki. The American version is sung by A Taste of Honey. I'm not sure who the Japanese band is because I've forgotten that. But we had to sing a song in Japanese in public. But honestly, because you don't speak the language, they didn't speak English, it was no big deal. So I guess it was, I don't want to say this, the attitude I took in Guatemala, but it kind of was because it's scary sometimes speaking in front of the public. I know a lot of people who won't do it, but I guess when you just think about it, it's just people, and especially if they don't understand what you're saying. I mean, hopefully in this case they did understand what you were saying. The message will come across, but it's just easy. I mean, people are just people, and people are really there to rally you. So the tune that we sang was to the tune of La Bamba, and it was about washing your hands, and I can remember the chorus, you know, lava manos, niños sanos, lava manos, niños sanos. It's basically wash hands, clean children. And then we played out a little skit. We took turns being superheroes, super jabón, although it was a much better germ. Super jabón, by the way, is super soap, and then there was super agua, and then I can't remember germs. It started with an H sound, probably not an H itself. So we went into this facility on the first day in a rural part of Guatemala, and I was just amazed at how many people were there. I mean, we were told to be 1,500 people there that day. And my roommate, who I really lucked out with my roomie, Deborah from one of the hotels, she, I don't know, small world, her husband and I worked in Yellowstone at the same time, and her brother-in-law and I worked in the Everglades at the same time. Anyway, but after the first day, she commented to me, she's like, something about, you know, if we're in the United States, people would be in line for the latest iPhone. And here we are in Guatemala, and people are in line for soap. For soap. And each family, no matter if they had 3 people in their family or if they had 10 kids in their family, whether they had 1 child enrolled in the Children International Program or if they had 9 kids enrolled in the Children International Program, they got 3 bars of soap. And one woman said that 1 bar of soap would last her family 1 week, because in addition to using it to wash their hands, wash their bodies, they're also using it in the kitchen. They're using it to clean their dishes, or that's what they use in the kitchen, or to do their laundry and for other things. So it's, you know, this is why it's important to get more soap down there. Also, Unilever had sent Clean the World bukus and bukus of soap. So there were actually bars of Unilever soap that came down with us as well, in addition to the soap that was made from Clean the World. So on that first day, it was just amazing. And as soon as I walked in, I had to blink back the tears, like I have to do right now, because I just couldn't believe seeing all these people. But then once you got into it, and the people were just so friendly, and a lot of them were probably, well, they were of Mayan descent. And a lot of them didn't, or they have to be bilingual in the Children International Program, meaning they have to speak at least Spanish, and they probably speak their Mayan language. Some of them didn't write, some of them couldn't sign their name on a form that they needed to, so they used a thumbprint. The clothing was spectacular. It was, you know, just the fabrics, and I did bring, not back from someone that we saw, but I did buy this. You know, my healthcare provider had told me about the beautiful fabrics and textiles, but even the clothing was just spectacular and vibrant. And then I was kind of jealous because some of them had gold teeth and gold crowns, and the reason why I was jealous is because I need a crown for my bottom tooth, and I wanted a gold one because my grandma had a gold tooth when I was growing up, but my dentist said I can't have that until my top teeth are straightened out. So it was just so fulfilling, I guess, being able to assist in, you know, educating the people who were there about the importance of hygiene through a song and a skit, and then handing out the soap. Now, I know in reality I had nothing to do with that soap. I didn't volunteer to make that soap happen. I didn't donate that soap, but I was a face. I was an ambassador for Clean the World. I was an ambassador for my country, so people can I don't know. I guess when I go on these trips, I call it building pockets of peace, because when you understand someone, your animosity is kind of torn down. You can relate to someone. You're not going to do something bad to someone. So if you imagine if, you know, all this craziness that's going on in the world now, if more people got out there and build pockets of peace, so to say. So later that afternoon, I can't remember. Oh my gosh, it was just last week. Let me look at my notes. Because in the morning we did the soap distribution. I can't believe I missed this. I thought this was the next day. But we visited families in their homes. And again, we're in rural Guatemala, and I mean these houses. I mean, I don't know if you can call them houses. I mean, I think poor people here in America. I mean, I know there's some really, really poor people here, but people are living in like corrugated, sided, metal sided houses. There's dirt floors. There was one house in the kitchen area. It was just really gross because it had flies just all over the ceiling, and it was smoky because it was a wood burning stove. And it was interesting because there was this little tortoise shell cat just sitting on top of the stove there. And another house, there's chickens running in and out. Another home, I think she said there were like 9 or 10 people who lived there, and there were 3 beds, and they all slept in one room. But it wasn't a message of, oh, woe is me, I feel sorry for me. It was like a lot of hope. I mean, it took a lot of courage to invite someone into their home, because the way my house is right now, not that it's, I mean, I think it's a nice house, but I'm not a very good housekeeper, and I'd be embarrassed to have someone come over. But these people, they were just so generous in opening up their homes and letting us in there and answering our questions through a translator. Again, I saw hope. And they have faith in the system, and they know where they are now. However, they know for their children and next generations that life is going to be better. And this is what Children International is doing. It's giving these kids an education. It's giving them the tools they need. It's giving them a leg up, especially for other children in the country, to go out and become what they want to. We met a single woman who was abandoned by her husband, and she's taking care of her father because her mother passed away several years ago, and she has two daughters, and the eldest daughter is in a soccer program, big soccer fan and player, but she wants to be a doctor when she grows up. So it was very awesome. The next day we visited a school. That was kind of fun. If you saw the trailer for the Google Hangout segment, that was one of the kids I met. I took my GoPro, and I don't have a screen on the back of my GoPro, so you can't see what you're filming, and I didn't have my app on just because I have an iPhone 4, and apps seem to suck out juice, and I do have a Mophie, which I love, which is an extra battery backup, but I didn't have the app on. So this cute little boy came up to me immediately, and then these other kids came up to me as soon as I took the GoPro out, and maybe it's the first time they saw one, but they were curious about it. So I got the video of them, and then we did a presentation, and the kids welcomed us, and it was just so sweet because we would say our names, mi hablo, Jennifer, and then they would basically say, hello, Jennifer, in Spanish, and it was just so cute. And then we did the skit, and that's why I got to be an awesome germ, because I got to go out into the audience and like kind of scare the kids and everything, and Super Jabon and Super Agua had to come get me. And then afterwards, we handed out soap to the kids, and it was 450 school kids. And it was just so sweet because it started with the little kids going on up, and then I know the kids it was suggested to the kids that they hug and kiss us after they thanked us for the soap, and not everyone did, but it was so sweet because some kids did. You just give you a kiss and a hug and saying thank you in English. Several of them did speak English, which was very cool. So I've talked the whole time. If anyone has any questions, just use that little, let me check. I know some of you have problems with the questions, but there is a Q&A section on there. All right. Oh yeah, where it says on the live Q&A, just hit Q&A if you have a question. But if not, I'm going to continue to talk, because I can talk, because I only have 5 minutes left. So, okay, so my necklace, this is one of the necklaces I bought. I probably paid too much. I paid the equivalent of, I think like, oh, not even $5 for it. But there's this woman outside the hotel, and you got to respect her because, as she said, this is business. I'm a businesswoman. Her name is Clara. Clara apparently is on Facebook. I haven't found Clara yet. I'm not sure if any of my traveling companions have found Clara, but Clara waited for us outside the hotel in the morning when we left on our adventures, and she wanted to make deals with us. So she's selling fabrics and necklaces, and I did buy another necklace. Actually, I didn't buy this from Clara. I bought this from Clara's sister, but I just thought it was so cute because these, I don't know, little Guatemalan dolls and the beads and everything. And I bought another chunky beaded necklace. But you know, we were asking Clara, Clara, are these made by hand? And she said, of course they are. They're not made by foot. Thought that was funny. But well, during the home visits, we did meet one young gal. I think she was 16, and she was making something on the loom, and she said it takes her about a month to put the fabric together. And another woman we met on that same trip, she said it also takes a month, but she was doing these pretty, I think it was like birds on there, and I asked her how she got the inspiration for her pattern, or I thought maybe, I don't know, maybe, you know, like with the Native Americans in the United States here, maybe there was colors specific to indigenous people or something. I don't know if that's ignorant. But basically, she said she just looked at magazines, and that's how she found her inspiration. She said she can't read or write, yet she can take an image and see an image and then just craft it into this beautiful piece of art. And I did take a photo of that. I don't think I posted the links in the Google Hangout section here, but I'll have to do that. But if you go to solotravelgirl.com, I'm going to be posting stories there. Hopefully I'm going to get one posted tonight. I've been working on it. I thought I was going to be able to hit the publish button before this hangout, but I just need to give it a little hug. No, excuse me, I need a drink of water or ginger ale. All right, so I appreciate your time. I haven't done the Hangouts in a while, just again because things have been crazy in my life, and I am so excited because I don't have any summer plans to go anywhere. I'm looking forward to straightening out my home. I'm looking forward to catching up on my blog posts. I mean, I really have some posts I need to write from last September's trip to France. I even have trips from Ireland I still need to post. I need to have another Hangout to tell you about my trip to Boston with AARP for Life at 50 Plus. I need to have a hangout to talk about Virginia. Oh my gosh, Virginia, old school Virginia, that was pretty wild. I had no idea like what a foodie scene is going on, especially in Roanoke. Because I was telling my cousins were here actually in Miami, I guess in April. So I was telling one of my cousins where I was going to Roanoke, and he said, "Oh, that's kind of," you know, he didn't say redneck, but he implied it was not as modern or something. But actually, Roanoke really reminded me of Asheville, kind of that bohemian vibe, and it has old historic downtown, and then at the end it looks like this spaceship crashed into it. It's the Modern Art Museum, which was very lovely. So there's a lot happening in old school Virginia, which was Stanton, Lexington, and Roanoke. So there'll be more about that. So I appreciate spending this half hour with you. Thanks for listening. If by chance you're not watching this live, thanks for checking this out on YouTube. Again, this is Jennifer Huber from Solo Travel Girl. Thanks for chewing with me tonight on Chew with Jen. We have 1 more minute left. Any questions? All right. Thank you. Make it a good one. Till next time.